Another one of the Pueblo Care's fundamental points is that not only is this too risky, but that it's just going to be too expensive. They actually claim that there's a real risk that our electric rates will go up, our water rates will go up, our taxes will go up, and that we can't afford $1 billion purchase. So I wonder if you all could talk a little bit about why is this model, this public power model, likely to be less expensive than an investor-owned utility? What are the major cost savings that the public really needs to understand that will come to pass by removing the private monopoly and replacing it with a public agency like this?
My non-technical answer is that we won't be lining the pockets of shareholders. That's what they're here to do. They're here to make money, and they found a way to do it through an electric utility. And I encourage anyone, just Google it. Google Black Hills Energy shareholders reports. They are there. They are public. They brag about their profits, and their profits are our dollars. They're our rates. It's what I pay, what you pay every single month. That's what's lining their shareholder profits. That's my non-technical answer. Technical answers I'll pass off to these guys, but seriously, that's how we stand to make life better here, is that we will just be investing in our own utility. We will own that utility and not be renting, not be paying renting or putting money in shareholders' pockets.
Daneya, I think that's the key point. Is I think it's the most important point that we need to make is we are passing just an enormous amount of profit to South Dakota as we speak. And we've seen numbers all over the place, but some of the lower numbers is this $30 million figure, between $30 and $100 million, over $100 million going out of Pueblo County every year that's going into this. Well, just do the math on how quick that money adds up and how much of that is profit. A significant portion of it is their operating expenses, but what Daneya is talking about is a huge chunk that is going purely into profits. And so profits is the primary way that we're going to save money. Lots of other efficiency ways. I would point out, one of the fun things that you can do is just sit and take all the issues that Pueblo Cares is throwing out there and prove that every single one of them is a lie. They're designed to confuse, and they're designed to make people question what is going on. This is one of them where they say, oh gosh, we're going to spend $1 billion. If you look at the phase 2 study that was produced by EES, what it basically says is in the $800 million range would be the cost of the distribution system if the entire service territory was purchased. And that means not just Pueblo, not just Pueblo County. It means up towards Canyon City. It means up in Cripple Creek. It means going out to the east and going to the south. It means the entire service territory. It's not in territory. It's not just the citizens of Pueblo. What they basically say is the cost of acquiring the system within the city of Pueblo is around $250 million, and a little bit higher than that with some of the other figures, but in that range. The cost of acquiring it for the entire county, the entire Pueblo County, is between $450 and $500 million. And these are, again, conservative numbers. So this $1 billion figure, they want to throw that out there because it sounds shocking that anybody would pay to that. But I keep coming back to the amount of money that's leaving this town. Add that up. This is over a 20-year period. These are the costs over a 20-year period. Add up how much money is leaving this town and going to South Dakota right now and would be over the next 20 years if we stay in this place. You are totally eclipsing the amount of money that we're talking about that the Board of Water Works would arrange to purchase the system that we're talking about here. And it's just another lie. It's ridiculous.
I want to clarify one point too out of that. You mentioned that people believe their taxes will go up. And I want everybody to understand the Board of Water Works is a standalone enterprise fund. We are not part of the city. We are not governed by city council. In fact, city council and the mayor's office has no authority over the Board of Water Works. We have a separately elected board. And we have operated under that format since a charter change in 1954. And as an enterprise fund, we do not have the power to either directly or indirectly levy a tax. And in fact, if people look back when Tabor first came out, and the Tabor legislation came out in the early 1990s, that legislation was never meant to apply to enterprise funds. But as with all new legislation, it takes a little while for the attorneys to work everything out. But to get to the point, in November of 1995, by vote of the people of the city of Pueblo, we made it explicit that the Board of Waterworks does not have the power to either directly or indirectly levy a tax.
They know, the opposition in Black Hills knows that when polls have been taken, one of the things that citizens have said, by the way, those same polls that basically overwhelmingly said Black Hills is a terrible utility and needs to be thrown out of town, they also said that they weren't particularly thrilled with the idea of the city itself running it. Well, the Board of Waterworks is not the city, as Seth has pointed out. It's a separate entity that is separated under our city charter to function and to run a utility. It's not the city. They're doing that specifically to confuse and lie, saying, ooh, you don't want the city running it, because they know what the polls have shown. Board of Waterworks is not the city. It is a well-run enterprise utility that frankly is the envy of most of the jurisdictions up and down the Front Range.
Why do you think Black Hills Energy is spending so much money on this ad campaign to put lies out there? They're not doing it because they care about us. They're spending that kind of money that we don't know who's funding it. They're investing that kind of money to stay here because we're profitable for them. They don't want to lose that profit from their coffers.